Hey there, this is Real Talk Baseball and Carlos Baseball. With me as always is Ernie Orange, and we have a great show for you guys today. I don't know if you guys already heard, but we'll go into it a little bit before, I want to say how Ernie's doing over there, dude. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, Carlos? Hi, everybody, for tuning in. We're having a great time here this Monday night. Excited for baseball to get started. We're 2 days away. And with the signing of Blake Snell to the Giants, exciting. Can the Giants finally compete with the Dodgers for the NOS? That's the main
Dude,
question.
and not only that, Dylan Cease goes to the Padres, and that adds more stress to the Dodgers being a topper. I feel like there's going to be a competition with the pitching staff on three ways now because you just say Blake Snell went to the Giants. And we'll talk about that, of course. And we'll talk about the Seoul Series going out in South Korea. But before we go ahead and put the intro, it's exciting when you get a little bit of like news before our show starts because we get to talk about it. It's fresh, it's new, it's ready to go. So, uh, I just had to change the picture right away. I had to change the title right away. So I found the way to do
Oh,
it. Ernie kind of sent me a text. Hey man, can we do this? And I straight up said, like, I don't think we can, but let me look. So it worked out. It worked out, right?
it's exciting, guys. It's exciting to be live with you guys and hearing the freshest news in MLB, being here firsthand to tell you what has happened and to give you the breakdown of the contracts and trades.
Sounds good. Well, after this, we'll talk about it.
Hey, today's show is sponsored by Rival Fantasy. It's the latest gaming for fantasy sports gambling. Feel free to check it out using our code Real Talk Baseball by using rivalfantasy.com or downloading the Rival Fantasy app. It's a great type of fantasy gambling type of game. I'm having a great time playing, and they have different types of games with the MLB upcoming season. They have daily challenges to challenge your friends with different type of players. They also have best ball where you could play on a weekly, daily, or season long type of fantasy games. So definitely give it a check it out. I know us, Real Talk Baseball, are all involved in this rival fantasy, and we're having a great time playing.
And don't forget to use the promo code Real Talk Baseball. And all the money you put in, let's say you put $200, Rival Fantasy will match it up and you'll make $400 and you can use all that money to bet on your team. And it's pretty fun. I mean, I've tried it already. I did the little draft and it's pretty fun. And I think we're gonna have a live one here if you guys want to join, and we'll put that out there to see who's ready to do that. It's a season long. You just pick your players, you leave it alone, and pretty much you just let it run its course to the end of the season. And if you get the most points, then you win that money. So can't wait to do that. But right now, the top news, and everybody's excited for it, dude. It's the Blake
Yes.
Snell going to the Giants, and I think that's really good for the Giants, not just because it's he's finally out of the market, but
Yeah.
I think the Giants are ready to compete. They're going to compete with Logan Webb, and now you have Blake Snell. Who's going to be the ace? That's going to be the question, right? So you have more of the details of what happened in the contract, Ernie. I'll let you take it off from here.
Yeah, so definitely. It's been a long offseason for Blake Snell, the Cy Young winner. Just seems that he couldn't find a job, which was kind of confusing, right? How do you become the best pitcher from the previous year and still can't find a job? And the guy is asking for his money. He deserves it, guys. I know
Yeah.
he obviously wanted a long-term contract, failed on that. He originally wanted a 6-year, $150 million contract with the Yankees. The
Mm-hmm.
Yankees declined that, said that was too much. And now they kind of lowballed him, actually. He fell down and he went down to 2 years, $31 million a year, $62 million contract with the chance of opting out next year. It's a win-win, but for both guys, not only does Blake Snell get to prove himself again this year, but the Giants get him at an offer for $31 million, which is a great, awesome deal. It's an A+ signing for the Giants. And man, what an offseason have the Giants done, just from starting with Bob Melvin. Now you add Jung Hoo Lee into the mix, Jorge Soler, and Jordan Hicks is going to go to your rotation. Man, I love this Giants move. Is it
Yeah.
enough to compete with the Dodgers, though? That's the main question.
It will compete because you have Blake Snell that has a 2.36 ERA against the Dodgers. So that's one of the things you got to look at and think about, because when you face the Dodgers, you need to kind of face the Dodgers with Otani now. And having Otani, he's a lefty, and you have Blake Snell in that rotation. That's just going to create a little bit more problems for the Dodgers, I feel. I know I'm a Dodger fan, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are hating on me because I'm talking so much about the Giants. But this is good when we start our show on Mondays and we're live on Mondays because gives us more to talk about. As a
Yes.
baseball fan, this is really good for baseball. Why? Because the NL West is going to be compete. Four teams are going to be competing for that division. I mean, the Rockies being the superior, right?
No, no,
I was waiting for you to be like, wait. The
no,
Rockies?
no.
What? The Rockies haven't made any moves. We all know that. Ryan, how's it going, dude? I know you're saying that the Giants suck and they're gonna win the wild card. Look, it's too early. On paper, it looks really great for the Giants. On paper, it looks really good for the Dodgers, for the Diamondbacks, and for the Padres. And thank you for being on here for sure. But I agree with you. I'm gonna say, they still suck, whatever, because Giants suck. That's the chant we give out in Dodger Stadium. But yeah, I just feel like that's a great move for the Giants because they're trying to compete with the Dodgers, they're trying to compete with the Padres, and they're not staying behind. So it's a great move. I'll go ahead and give you the pitching. So it's going to be Logan Webb, Kyle
Yes.
Harrison, and of course Robbie Ray. If you guys don't remember, Robbie Ray is with the Giants now, so he is on a 60-day IL. And we don't know when he's coming back. And then you have Keenan Wynn, and then just like Ernie said, Jordan Hicks, and then Alex Cobb is there too. He had his hip surgery, which I think he started throwing right now. He's on that throwing program, so that's a good thing, right? So I don't know, dude. I think it's a great move. Like I think it's just gonna be a competitive NL West, right? And
It really
yeah,
is. I definitely feel that the Giants have enough to compete with the Giants. I don't see them winning the division, but it's definitely not a team I want to face in the wild card round. It's definitely a dangerous, scary team. If they're all healthy, come down the NL wild card. That's a team you do not want to face. A lefty pitcher like Blake Snell, and then you add Logan Webb. I know he's not having the best spring out there, but he is still a decent, great pitcher. Definitely an ace in any rotation. You got Alex Cobb coming back from a hip surgery, and you know what he could do. Robbie Ray has proven time again. He's also a Cy Young winner, if I'm not mistaken. A guy that has proven himself coming off Tommy John. And it's tough to come back, but this is a Giants team that definitely can make some noise and can compete out in the NL West. And looking back, do you think 31 million is a lot for 1 year? I know
uh,
a lot of old timers were giving them a hard time, like, well, he should cut back and ask just for 20 million. And I'm like, why the heck would he do that? Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander are out there getting paid 43 million this year. And these
yeah,
guys are out past their prime. I'm like, there's no way this guy doesn't deserve at least to get paid 31 mil. Yamamoto just got a 12-year, 325 mil contract. You got Aaron Lola, Zach Wheeler getting all these contracts. And I'm like, wait, the Cy Young winner. I know he could be inconsistent and he walked a lot of batters last year, but he's still a true ace, a guy that's won the Cy Young in both leagues, AL and National League. Let's just say that. I don't think there's any other pitcher out there that is doing that right now.
and it's really hard to do that because you have so much competition out there right now, and you kind of have this guy winning the both sides. You winning the AL and NL. You just said it. Um, I just kind of felt, and like the Astros were kind of mentioned a lot for Blake Snell. It was tied to that rotation, saying, "Oh, it looked like Blake Snell kind of called the Astros and said, you know what, I'm willing to take 60 million, for 2 years and 30-30, right?" And this came out. The Giants went and got hit their man. They got what they needed. Remember, they fell a little short with the Ohtani signing, so they kind of felt like they needed to go and get players, which you just mentioned all the players they got, and that's a good thing for the Giants. So they're not the only ones doing moves, and that's a great thing for the sport of baseball because remember, there was some talk that it looked like they weren't going to sign him before May, and now they
Mhm.
signed him probably like the last week of spring training, last 2 weeks. But he's been keeping up. He's been
Yes.
throwing simulated games and stuff like that. So kind of helps him get into that starting rotation before the season starts for the Giants. And I mean, cool, dude. This is kind of like a Christmas, like when you're gonna have your show and then things pop up, and that's just really cool. So we had this news, and it's amazing. The other one, though, there's one more team that did some damage last week, and they made a trade, and they went and got their guy, and it's a Dylan Cease to the Padres, and I think that's another good trade because the NOS is now getting tougher. Now it's like I said, it's not just the Dodgers, it's the Giants, the Diamondbacks, and the Padres now. So the Padres with Dylan Cease in that rotation, and I'll let you get into it a little bit because I feel like Dylan Cease is one of those things where there's an American League and more of a National League guy, but I'll let you get a little bit into detail with what Dylan sees.
Yeah, man, that this Dylan Cease trade was kind of a shocker for everyone. It seemed a trade that nobody expected. It seemed like the Padres were going to have a quiet off season. a team that kind of just let go of all their prime players like Hader and like Snell, Juan Soto. It seemed like they were going to have a very small, quiet offseason, but no, AJ Predator said, heck no, we're going to compete out there and we're going to get another true ace out there like Dylan Cease, a guy that's proven himself.
Yeah.
Back in 2022, his guys pitched 2.2 ERA, overall has a 3.8 ERA in his career. He's a proven winner, but
Yeah.
he has been stuck in a very bad team for the past 3-4 years with the White Sox. And now he's given an opportunity to compete in the NOS. But this ain't no AL Central, man. And I'm kind of afraid that his ERA may not be the same like it once was with the White Sox.
Yeah.
It's a good trade for the Padres. Don't get me wrong. It adds another batter into the rotation with Musgrove and Darvish in there. And now you had a young guy like Michael King to support him. But I'm still kind of worried that the Padres didn't do enough this offseason. I still question their 6-9 batting order, and I don't think it has enough to compete with the NOS. Now, overall, the Dylan Cease is a great trade, man. You're getting this guy for a cheap $8 million for the year.
Yeah.
And then if you do want to trade him in the middle of the season, you get so many much prospects for him and just get rid of him and not have to pay him in the offseason.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you think it's enough to compete with the Giants now after the Giants make this move with Snell?
I think so, dude. I think honestly, I know they still have Drew Darvish and they still have their starting rotation except for Snell. Now you throw in season to the number 3 spot. Now you have 1, 2, 3 going after anybody that's gonna face them. So I think it's a good move. I think last year his numbers were a little bit more higher than normal. He had a pretty much a 4.58 ERA, but you got to talk about the White Sox. The White Sox weren't good defensively. So most of those runs came out unearned. So when they come unearned, you're throwing more pitches and then you walk batters and those become earned runs. You let them hit a home run because you're out there a lot longer. And those numbers do tend to inflate. Now, remember, he does throw a 96 mile per hour fastball compared to 2022, which was second in the NAL as a Cy Young Award winner. He was throwing pretty good. He threw way better than he did last year, 2023. So his numbers in 2022 were 2.0. That's what he wanted to see. He was throwing his slider a lot more. He was throwing his fastball at 97. Of course, as you get older, but you start to throw a little bit slower. He's only 27, 28 years old. So he should be throwing and he should be getting to his prime. But with that said, if he's going to start throwing his slider again, I think he's going to start commanding the plate and start, pitching a lot better. For 2024, it does say he's going to pitch a 2.16 ERA, which means he has a better defense behind him with the Padres. So it is going to help him out a lot. I just feel that the Padres do have one of the top rotations with Dylan Cease in it. If Dylan Cease wasn't in it, I don't think the Padres are top 5. I just don't know where to put them in that top 5 rotation because they're pretty good. Do you feel like they're in the top 5?
They're not top 5, Carlos.
Not yet?
Not even top 10. It's kind
No?
of like, no. I mean, with adding Dylan Cease, man, I just don't like the guy. No, I do like him. I think he's a great pitcher, but I know Joe Musgrove and Yu Darvish have been better in pitchers. They've proven themselves time and time again, but I think they're more in the downfall in their career as opposed to like going on the upside. You know what I mean? And I feel like Dylan Cease in the other way. His game is just growing and getting better every year as we go by. But I do question the offense, and is he going to get the offensive help he needs? That's one of the main reasons the Padres couldn't get any wins last year. And I'm like, if the Padres couldn't make the playoffs with Snell, Hader as your closer, and Juan Soto in the middle of the lineup, and now you just had Dylan Cease, I don't see that making enough. And I do see them being competitive. I'm still going to give them a clip, say that they'll still make the third place, and I still think they'll be out there competing.
Okay. Well, let me throw a little bit more to it. I feel like Dylan Cease is one of those team players that you look to and he's always smiling. He's always laughing. I just heard that today. He likes to crack jokes. So maybe you need something like that inside the Padres clubhouse. Because remember, last year, everybody was talking about how their egos were kind of getting in their way of getting that team chemistry going and getting those teams to go and beat the other teams. And you just said it. The lineup doesn't produce a lot of runs. Now with the departure of Juan Soto, could this be a new Padre lineup to where they feel like, okay, now we don't have this big ego in Juan Soto. Now we can worry about ourselves and now we can go ahead and try to make some noise. Now they do have to prove themselves this year because the window for them to win a World Series or to go to the playoffs or even do any like noise, they have to start from now because they're getting older just like any other team. But this team has been together for 4 years now. You can't say that this team is a slouch team. No, you have Manny Machado on this lineup. You have Tatis, which he needs to prove himself again. He remember when he used to talk about him a lot, and now it kind of died down. So
Yes,
with Dylan Cease in that rotation, it kind of brings a little bit hype into the clubhouse. So the reason why I say top five rotation, it could be a lot better if they stay healthy. And I say that because if they stay healthy, yeah, they can be a top five. It's something to be happy about if you're in from San Diego and you're a Padres fan, definitely.
definitely.
But yeah, but the health for me, if they stay healthy, it will be a competitive pitching staff. And I think a lot of people are forgetting about Michael King, and I think that's a big trade that the Padres made that is kind of being looked at as like, okay, it's a small trade, it's a fourth starter, but he did pitch in the AL East, remember, and he did pretty well. So
Mhm.
here in the NL West, we'll see how he does, and if that man proves himself, then you'll have four starters that can go ahead and dominate.
Overall, it looks like the Padres had a pretty good offseason for losing this many players. They're
Yeah,
bringing up their top 12 prospect in the MLB called Jackson Merrill, a young kid that has a lot of upside to his game.
yeah,
Hasn't really played double A level or higher, but has proven himself in A ball last year as a rookie, and looks like he has some game, man. But they definitely need to add a veteran to their lineup. And I know they're in the talks of bringing Tommy Pham, and he has a lot of familiarity with the NL
yeah,
West. So why not bring some kind of experienced hitter like that into the
yeah.
lineup?
Yeah. And you know what? It's funny when we were, because, okay, so Will is out here in California. If you're watching Will, like he was out here. We went out to eat, and Kevmo was there as well. And we got to meet him, personally. That's a good thing. They were talking about JD Martinez still kind of signing with the Dodgers. So that's I guess, something that the Padres need to think about and go and see if they can seek JD Martinez services, because JD Martinez, whether you like him or not, he's still producing 25 home runs, which kind of can get you to that next level. So JD Martinez anywhere in that West team will do some damage right now, and it could be the Diamondbacks, it could be the Padres, it could be not the Giants anymore because he declined it, or it could be the Dodgers. But then you're starting to look at possibilities of like where is he going to play. So here with the Dodgers, and I
I
don't
got
think that could happen, right?
Yeah, man. I got a quick question for you. How you think that everybody knows that the Dodgers are the favorites to finish first in the NL West, right?
Yeah,
But do you know who's going to finish second, third, and fourth in your opinion? Like,
the West. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that the with the new coaching in San Diego and the new coaching in San Francisco, I think that one's gonna go to an extra game, man. I just feel, and I don't think there's an extra game anymore. How the brackets are set up anymore, but I do feel like the Giants could come out top because they have a little bit of more experience with Bob Melvin,
yeah,
and going out to San Francisco, like their field and how cold it is, you have to get used to that stuff when you go as a visitor over there. And you just said it, dude. It's one of those things. Would you want to face them in the wild card game? I don't know, dude. So it's kind of like it's scary, dude. It's scary, but I'm picking the Giants to win that second spot, and then don't forget about the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are still, the favorite to go and to the wild card because they went to the World Series last year, and they started off hot last year, and then they died off, and at the end they just started picking it up again. Maybe that's the way they timed it so they can go into the World Series. But they did really good, dude. And do you feel like the Giants are the second spot, or do you have someone in mind?
you know what? I do definitely think the Giants will be second this year with this moves they made off season. And for a shock, I think the Padres going to finish third place. I think they have a lot to prove, and they want to compete this year. And I think they know that last year there was a failure, and they have a lot to prove. But now I think the Diamondbacks are going to finish fourth, even though they have a pretty solid team. I feel like they're going to have a little World Series hangover, and those arms get tired after going into October and pitching deep into the postseason. Always know what happened the following season, man. These guys get dead arm and they're pretty burnt out, man. That's the game of baseball. These pitchers can't keep up like that
Yeah.
long. They have them throwing 98, 99 miles. It's funny. Chris Bassett, the pitcher from the Toronto Blue Jays, just had an interview with what's his name? JM Sports, John Rose, Chris
Hmm.
Rose.
Chris
Sorry,
Rose.
Chris Rose. And he
Okay.
was saying how basically how the MLB games, the pitchers are just going out with injuries left and right. And it's because the MLB owners, they're just looking for guys throwing 97 and 98. And the moment they see a guy throw 90 to 91 miles, they're just kind of like, yeah, don't sign that guy. Go with the guy that's throwing even harder.
That's
but
true.
not realizing that they're affecting the game a lot because they're just getting all these guys and they're just going out with Tommy Johns left and right. And that's why I
Yeah.
was saying last week, I don't know, man, the pitching's gone downhill lately. I don't think it's the best pitching we've seen in baseball in a long time.
That's true. I did hear that one of the guys that got traded for Dylan Cease from the Padres, which was included in the Juan Soto from the Yankees to the Padres, now to the White Sox, is Drew Thorpe, and he throws 92, 95. But they were saying in spring training he was throwing 91, 92. So he wasn't topping off at all. So I think that maybe made the decision for the Padres a little bit easier to let him go for Cease. So you did have Jairo Infante and then Steven Wilson that went to the White Sox for that. So the White Sox, dude, like what's going on with the White Sox? Like, are they
Man,
gonna? It's pretty much rebuilding from office all the way down. Jasper, I know you're a big White Sox fan. If you're here, what's going on out there? Let us know, man. I think it's just one of those things where when is this team going to get it together and when are they going to
yeah.
start competing for that AL Central out there? But right now, the NL West is looking tougher, is looking like one of those divisions that's kind of like the AL East. And I mean, that's cool. It's always fun for baseball. It's always fun for baseball. So
Hey,
I'm happy. Yeah, go for it.
there's a potential that all four teams from the NOS can make the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. And that's crazy because then you're facing a team that you've been watching all season long. And then you get to the wild card game, it could be anybody's game. Doesn't
Yep.
mean that because you have Otani, you spend so much money on the team, oh, you're gonna win the World Series. It doesn't mean that. It just means that okay, you're positioning yourself to win more games. But the second part of baseball, which is the playoffs, that's when it turns on, and that's where the Dodgers need to go ahead and step up. The Giants and the Padres. Now the Diamondbacks, they did little move here, but I think they still need to do one more move. And Ryan Reyes did say the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Giants, Padres, Rockies. You mean the Rockies aren't going to do anything? Like what? I don't know. I just feel like the NOS is competitive. So I got a question for you. Now that these moves are done, do you feel now that Blake Snell is out? Do you think Montgomery is going to sign in the AL East? Because that's how it's been going. It's been going East, West, right? And it's been AL NL. So, do you think Montgomery is going to the East? And if he does go to the East, where is he going to go? And where is he going to land?
Well, it's been a favorite for Jordan Montgomery to land. It's a clear favorite to land with the Boston Red Sox. That's
Mhm.
the team he has to go. The Red Sox have had a really quiet offseason, and you thought they would have had signed him by now, but I definitely think he's going east. I don't see him coming west, or else I think he would have been here by now.
Yeah.
And these teams have been calling and checking in, but Scott Boras obviously wants a good deal for his guys, and it's only a matter of time by the time he goes to the East. And I definitely think he'll go with the Red Sox. The Yankees already said they're out of the picture and they're not going to sign him, even given with the Garrett Cole injury. So I don't know what the Yankees are thinking, but they either got to sign a guy, and I think they're just going to go with a cheaper option with Michael Lawrenson, or just not sign anyone at all.
Yeah. I mean, and you have all your pitching staff with the Yankees right now that they're pitching pretty good in the spring training.
Yeah.
So they're living up to what their hype is. So maybe they don't need to go and worry about getting someone to replace Cole. If you didn't hear, Garrett Cole is not going to need any Tommy John surgery, but he is going to do some rehab sessions for that elbow, which kind of sucks, for the ace of the AL. But that's what happens. He is throwing a lot harder. He is getting older, and you hate to see it, dude. You hate to see all these pitchers go down by with Tommy John or ending the season like that. But fortunate for Cole and for Yankee fans, it didn't happen that way. All he's going to need is going to need a little bit of rehab, and he might be back in 2 months, 1 or 2 months. I guess best case scenario 1 month, worst case scenario 2 months, right? So he still needs to throw his rehab sessions before he gets back on to the Yankees. But um, that's what it is right now, man. And that's where we're at with all this stuff. And Scott Boras has been mentioned a lot in this show because
Man,
he's been holding all his free agents hostages. So finally, right?
yeah, man, but it looks like he finally folded and are giving in. They're not
Yeah.
getting their long contracts. I think that game of baseball is just going in a direction where short short-term contracts are the answer these days. It gives you the option to pay up high value for these guys, but at the same time move on if they don't have a great performance. And Don't need to keep him for such a long time. I'm so disappointed on my Angels. They were always in the mix with Blake Snell all season. The Angels GM Perry Minasian was pushing Artie Moreno to buy Blake Snell, and that's why I thought the Astros got into the mix. I thought they were gonna try to find a ways to get him out of the Angels' hands. But man, Artie Moreno just clearly said, "I'm not spending no money," and he never likes to spend money on pitching, and that's kind of, MLB. You win the championships with pitching, and unfortunately, this guy doesn't spend the money on the right things.
Dude, it's crazy, and we're just baseball fans, and you're an Angels fan, and a lot of baseball fans think the same way. They're like, why aren't the Angels spending on pitching? Why aren't they going after pitching? He had his chance to get Snell. He still has a chance to get Montgomery, but I think Snell was a better fit for the Angels in my eyes. Now you're saying that he's going to go to the Red Sox, and there's been news that the Red Sox are kind of pursuing that. And if the Red Sox do that, I don't see him as a threat, but I do see him as kind of being a little bit more competitive because the team they have now, you have Devers there, and Devers doesn't like what's going on. He's not
Mhm.
happy. He came out saying he's not happy with the Red Sox not going after any players. And here we are talking about everybody in the NL West and the AL East, the two top divisions of each league. So, would that change from here to the start of the season, which starts on Wednesday?
I think somebody's gonna call Montgomery pretty soon. It's gonna get done. I know Scott Boras is gonna do his best to get him ready for opening day.
Yeah.
And and for those that don't know, the Seoul Series starts in 2 days, less than 48 hours away. Carlos,
Yeah. Yeah. Are you gonna be awake for that?
I'm gonna try my best, man. How about you?
Well, we going a little bit early to work, so I should be able to watch probably the fourth, fifth inning and on. But we'll see. I think I don't think I'm gonna be able to see the whole game, but I'll catch something,
It's
and I
gonna
get
be
to see it.
hard.
It's gonna be hard. It kind of sucks. It's good they're trying to build the MLB to be the biggest sport, and I like that they go to different countries to do that. But I think it's just too far, dude. Like if it was something nearby, that'll be a lot better because we get to see, like if they did it in Puerto Rico, they did it in Mexico, República Dominicana, Canada, they already have Toronto Blue Jays, but they could go play, in Hawaii. They can go do, things around here that we can kind of feel like, okay, cool. They could go Brazil, they can go play
Yep.
in Brazil. They can come play, Argentina. Like, I don't know. I just think in this side of the world we could probably see a little bit more. And let me go ahead and put this. Ryan said he has to set his alarm, and he's going to see if he. Well, I'm pretty sure he's going to watch the whole game. So I'll probably that's pretty good, man. Oh yeah, in London they did the London series last year, which was the Red Sox and the Yankees, and
They're
those
doing one
games
this
didn't
year.
disappoint. They're
They're,
doing those this year too, right? Who's playing in that one? Do you know?
I know the Cardinals, but I'm not sure about their opponent.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
uh,
And there's
it's
there's a Mexico
exciting.
one too, right?
There's a
There's a Mexico
Mexico
one
one.
too. Yeah. Yeah. It is exciting. It is exciting. It's exciting. It's just like I said, I don't know. For me, it's just I kind of feel like it's too long of a flight for them to go all the way out there and then play two games and then back.
And you see the time they give them to recover almost a whole week before the next following game happens. So these guys will play Wednesday, Thursday morning here in the West Coast, 3 a.m. And then the following Thursday, opening, and then they're going to play some exhibition games in the middle of
Yeah.
it, which is kind of strange. Like, wait, what? You mean to tell me they're going to play two games and then play a couple games with the Angels here in LA and then start the season, which
Yeah.
is trips me out. It's the ninth time MLB has ever done this to start the season in a different country. It's great. It's kind of the game of baseball, and they definitely need to grow it. And as you guys can see, the international game just continues to grow year by year. But it's definitely tough for these guys. And I know it's a different experience. I saw most players were able to take their families and their partners to these stadiums out there and get to learn culture about South Korea. But it's amazing, man. I think the guys, the Padres, that's another example of guys that want to play out there. Hassan Kim, he's actually from there, South Korea, and
Hmm.
that their stadium that he's playing is the same stadium he was growing up playing with his original team in Korea. So that's amazing to see, man. It looks like yesterday he had an awesome day. He had 2 home runs against a Korean team out there. That guy looks like he's gonna have a great season, man.
It looks like he is, dude. And then that I
He's a
do
star in the
see.
making.
Yeah, he is a star in the making in the MLB. He already got his shot to play second base. They moved Sander Bogarts to I mean, he's going to be shortstop. They
Hmm.
moved Sander Bogarts to second base for him to be able to give that room for well, I can't say his name. Kim. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, dude. Do you feel okay? This is a question that I'm gonna give you, dude. Do you feel that because the jet lag and all that, you think that the Dodgers and Padres are gonna come back and feel a little bit tired from that because they have to go back to preseason, right?
Nah, they're gonna be just fine, guys. I feel like yes, they're gonna play Wednesday, Thursday, go hard, and this whole week they're just gonna take a relaxed pit, chill it out. Don't work too hard. You know, Dave Roberts, he's good at that, man.
Yeah,
He's the
yeah.
best at making sure his players get the rest they need, and you'll have other guys playing that they need to try out for the last spots in the roster.
Yep. Well, the first game you have Drew Darvish going against Tyler Glass now, and then you have the second game. You have Yamamoto. Finally, we're gonna get to see what he is going to do in the MLB against Moskarov. So, two good games, two rivals, I guess you want to say, division rivals. I still say that the Dodgers are not their rivals yet, like a rival where like the Giants. I don't care what people say. I don't care what the media says. For me, it's still the Giants. It's not the Padres. I will still wear a Padres hat. I wouldn't wear a Giants hat. That's for sure. That's why I have that toilet seat with the Giants logo on it, so
Nah, man, let's
people
get
can
you
sit
one,
on it.
man. Let's get you a
Nah,
let's get
I
you
ain't
a
gonna wear it.
special edition Giants hat. How about that? What about one of
A
those old
special
school?
edition Giants hat. Which one is that one? Is that like an old school one?
Yeah,
Maybe,
let's.
maybe a New York one.
What if it was signed by Willie Mays?
I will put it in the backdrop and make sure everybody sees it.
uh,
But I wouldn't wear it. I wouldn't wear it. I wouldn't
oh
wear it.
man,
I
you
will
gotta
wear a
rock it.
Yankees hat. I will wear a Yankees hat. I will wear a Padres, Diamondbacks, but I will not wear a Giants hat. That's just the way it is because it's hideous. It's a hideous ass hat, man. I don't like it, dude. It's a nasty ass hat, dude. I mean, it's orange with black. Like, that's not my color. I think I just grew up not liking it. That's what it is.
Come on, man.
And it's a rivalry, dude. How would I look wearing a Giants hat? Like seriously,
Dude,
like
as a kid, I played on the Giants team, right? In Pony
uh-huh.
League when we were kids. We were the most hated team in the league because obviously we're the Giants. We had some ugly orange socks. It felt like it was Halloween all season.
Yeah. And you guys beat the Giants in the World Series, so that's a good feeling, right? When that
It
World
really
Series
is.
happened, when that World Series happened, they were telling me, "Who do you go for the Angels or the Giants?" I'm like, "Come on, that's the freaking answer is so easy to like. It's the Angels, dude. I wouldn't say the Giants. Like, come on, get out of here. I had an Angels hat, dude. It was red. The one they were wearing for the World Series. I had it. I still have an Angels hat. Like, come on, I wouldn't do the Giants. Like, if you know any Dodger fan, ask him, what hat would you rather wear, the Yankees hat or the Giants hat? And if they say the Giants hat, he's not a real Dodger fan. All right. I don't care if he knows all the history of the Dodgers. That just kind of like eliminates your Dodger card, and you should throw it away and retire because that's not right.
Damn, like that? Okay.
Like that. Yeah, that's how deep that rivalry is, dude. So, Ryan said neither. He won't wear neither, but tell me right now, out of those two hats, which one would you? It's life and death. Let's do that. Life and death. Which one would you wear? Would you wear the Giants or would you wear the Yankees? So let us know. Let us know. All right. You have some trivia
Fucking
question for
Yankee
me,
one.
Ernie?
Yes, I definitely have a trivia question. Anybody out there listening, if you guys want to help out Carlos, we would appreciate it. MLB trivia is exciting, man. It's one of those where we get to challenge ourselves and see if we still remember the game. There's a lot of players, a lot of history in this game, man. There's guys that get PhDs just learning about the game of baseball. You can imagine that. They're
Yeah.
basically baseball historians. And that's
Yeah.
amazing. I always thought, like, what if I was to do that? But it gets tricky, man. There's a lot of statistics and a lot of numbers and a lot of dates and players. It's crazy. So I got one for you today, man. I
All
know
right.
you're
Go
an
for it.
80s kid. I know you were born in the 80s and you
Mm-hmm.
remember the 90s, right? So
Yep.
can you name me a player that played in 4 World Series for 4 different teams between 1980 and 1990s?
1980 and 1990s.
And we
Uh.
had our Chewy here. I know he would help you out big time, but
Oh hell yeah. He will help me out big time. Okay, can you give me one of the teams? Just one of the teams, or can I ask that? Can I ask if he one what play what whether if
So
there's one
yes,
team that you can give me? Yeah, go for it.
so this guy played in 4 different teams for 4 World Series. I'll give you two. How about that?
Okay, it
He
wasn't
played in the
consecutive,
nine.
right? It wasn't
It was
consecutively.
it was not consecutive.
Okay, okay,
We have
okay.
1982 St. Louis Cardinals,
Hmm.
1985 Kansas City Royals,
Okay,
and he
damn,
was an
that's
outfielder.
he's an outfielder. Oh,
Man,
dang.
this is a tough one. I think.
Okay,
Right?
that is a tough one. George Brett, no, because he stayed with the Royals. Um, dang. Damn, you're gonna have to give me a position, man. That's kind of hard.
I know, and I'm looking at it. Like this is actually really tough. Yes, it's left fielder. He's a left fielder.
A left fielder, a left fielder, a left fielder, a left fielder. Dan, he played for the
Wow, and you know what? He's from your home. And wow, I'm just
yeah,
looking at his stats right now.
yeah.
Carlos, this guy's
Is
from my
he
hometown,
Eddie Murray?
Compton.
Eddie Murray?
No, close, but no,
Okay.
no, it's not Eddie Murray.
Eric Davis? No. Um, dang. Did he go to Locke High School?
He went to Centennial High School.
What the hell, Centennial High School? Damn, I should know this, dude. I'm pretty sure when you tell me, I'm gonna be like, really? Like, hold on, give me a little bit. Give me a little bit. I think I should be able to get it. Left fielder, left fielder, left fielder. From Centennial High School. Grew up in Compton. He won a World Series with the Cardinals. He won a World Series with the Royals.
That's a tough
Eddie
one.
Murray.
Yeah,
Eddie Murray. I already said. I'm forgetting Chili Davis. No, no,
no,
no, no, no,
no.
no. All right, man. I give up. I give up. Who is it? You got me there, dude. Who is it?
If there's anybody in the chat that would like to give us the answer, I want to help out Carlo Baseball. It's a tough question, man.
It
I
is.
honestly,
It is. But I should know this. I should
I
know this if
honestly,
he comes from Compton.
I honestly didn't even know he was from Compton until right now. I just looked up.
Really? What?
Yeah. His name is Lonnie Smith.
Ah.
I'm not sure if you heard of
Okay.
him. Yeah, he's
I
been in the
have.
league for a while.
Hmm.
He was definitely part of all these teams from the 80s Phillies, 91 Braves, and he was in 4 different teams with the 4 World Series. It's kind of impressive. Now, there's another one. I'm not sure if you guys know about Will Smith recently that was part of 3 World Series in 3 consecutive years.
Yeah.
There's also another guy named Don Bader, if you guys are not familiar with him, also was part of 3 World Series in 3 consecutive years with 3 different teams.
Don Baylor, the coach from the Rockies, right? Don
Yeah, the
Baylor.
one that was, yeah,
Yeah.
rest in peace, Don Baylor. Yeah, man.
Don
He
Baylor.
was
Yeah.
definitely part of the Boston Red Sox, the Twins, and then the A's in '88.
Yeah. Okay. Dang. Hey, that one was hard, dude. That one was hard.
It was, man. I gotta give it to you. It was a tough one, and I'm like, man, I should have went easier on him, but
Nah, it's okay because you know what? I need to test my knowledge too. I should know this if they're from Compton. I should know like this guys because I kind of looked at like look when I was growing up, I would look at the guys that are like, oh, this guy's from Compton. Oh, this guy's from Inglewood. Oh, this guy's from he went to Locke High School. Oh, this guy went to Centennial. And you start looking at he went to Compton High. He went to Paramount. He went to you start looking at those things. You're like, oh, these are kids just from where I grew up, and they made it to the MLB. So those are things
exactly.
I kind of looked up when I was a kid. So, yeah, you can call me a nerd, I guess, but it's just one of those things where I felt like these guys made it. I have a chance to make it, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a
man,
good one,
exactly.
dude.
It's kind of LA. LA had definitely a lot of. Sorry, LA had definitely had a lot of top players come out of this city and state of California, and it was amazing watching us
Yeah,
grow and like seeing all these guys come up.
yeah, yeah. I
Cool.
like the trivia for next week. You better have another one, a tough one too, because I think I just need to sharpen up my tools in here and make sure I get it answered. Um, dude, we only have 40 minutes into the show. We talked about a lot. We talked about Blake Snell. We talked about Dylan Cease. We talked about the Cell series, which starts this Wednesday, and we talked about trivia. So, is there anything else that we're missing that we forgot to mention on here? If you're on the chat, go ahead and put it on there, and we'll put it on here and we'll talk about it. If you haven't subscribed and you haven't liked the video, please do so. We do like that we get new subscribers, and of course, we like that you comment on here. We always do it. So,
Yeah,
um,
man, for
yeah,
sure. Any first time listeners, if you guys could give us a like and subscribe, we appreciate it. We will be providing you the top baseball news every Monday night and a weekly fantasy show that's aired on Thursday nights. We have a lot of content for you guys for this upcoming 2024 season, and we're proud to be here. And Real Talk Baseball continues to grow. And I know me and Carlos and Will and Hobby, we put in the work, man. We want to provide you guys the best news we have for you guys, and it's exciting times, man. Baseball continues to grow and our channel continues to grow, and we're happy to have you guys here in Real Talk Baseball. It means a lot to us, man. We put in the work, so we're happy to see that people actually subscribe and like it. But
yep,
yeah, man, other than that, it's just crazy to me that how many injuries are starting, how many people are going to start in the IL to start the season, man. It's incredible. It's a lot of players out there that are already hurt, and it's like, man, it's unfortunate because baseball is a great sport, and I can't wait for these guys to be healthy.
how's it going, Angelo? How's it going, Felix? And I didn't mean to dismiss your comment here, Ryan. Eric Hinsky played for three different World Series and teams. Okay, so he played their three different ones. Let's see what he say. Snell and the Giants to the playoffs. Felix, you missed it. That was the beginning. That was the breaking news. As soon as we got on, that just pretty much just went on, and we started talking about Blake Snell. So I'll ask you this question, Felix: do you think the Giants have enough to win the World Series? Because you're saying they're going to the playoffs. So I'm a Dodger fan. And of course, you're talking about the Giants, and of course, you're gonna like rub it in. So it's good. I like it. I like it. What's up, Heriberto? Any questions, man? Go ahead and tell us. I do want to go ahead and mention one of the injuries that just happened. And I want Yuri Perez. He's undergoing imaging due to elbow soreness, so he is kind of gonna see what's gonna happen with his elbow. Like I feel like the Marlins have a lot of injuries, dude. I feel like their
Dude,
pitching staff it's kind of suffering a little bit, right?
it's really bad. I mean, you have Yuri Perez with the potential of missing out some major time. Braxton Garrett's not going to be starting anytime soon, and then Sandy Alcantara out of the rotation for the
Mm-hmm.
season. And now they're moving one of their relievers, AJ Puck, into the starting rotation just because they don't have any other option. So it's not looking good out
Yeah.
there. We
Yep.
also got the
Yep.
Reds. We got the Reds losing Marty to suspension, and then TJ Friddle went out. Going to be out for a long time. He just fractured his
A long
wrist,
time.
so there's no timetable
Yeah.
for his return. It's a deep roster, yet there's already starting pieces, starting to get hurt, and that's unfortunate. And Angelo says, "I'm ready for the real season. Let's get ready to rumble." And I think we all are, man. We've had a long off season, a quiet one, if you tell me. And I think we're
Yeah.
ready to get this game going, man. And we're ready to see these super powered Dodgers take on the MLB 29 other teams out there, man.
Yeah. Angelo, what team you go for, man? If you don't mind me asking, I already know who Ryan goes for. Felix, I know who you go for.
Hey, who does
Felix,
Felix go for?
I think I want to say he's a Mets fan, and
Really?
I hopefully I'm not wrong, Felix. I just want to say I think he's a Mets fan, but prove say what team you go for sure.
I think Ryan's asking about Vargas. If I'm not mistaken, Miguel Vargas.
Hmm.
I know he's going to start this team. Is he making the roster?
You know what? He's not. It looks like he's not going to make the roster, but then you kind
Mm.
of see Roberts going back and forth with it. So there's no definite answer yet for Vargas. I want to say he's batting like a 230, 220. He's not doing all those, the things that they want him to do. So yeah, it's the same thing with Gavin Lux. We talked about it today at lunch. It kind of feels like I don't know, like I don't think he's ready to make it to the big league. So
Yeah, man.
um, Roberts hasn't said, oh, uh, definitely he's going to stay in the roster, but we'll see as I guess today. I guess roster should be due today so they can play in. So he is out there in South Korea though. He is there. I did see him play on Saturday. I got home and I started like noticing that a lot of people started posting like around 10 at night. I'm like, what the hell? There's a game going on right now. So yeah,
That time difference is crazy, man.
yeah, yeah. So Heriberto says Dodgers all day. I good, yeah, okay, good. And then Felix, he says the Metros, of course, the Mets. Are they going to do anything this year? The Mets, are they going to win the division? Are they going to go wild card? Or what are they doing? Felix, let me know, man. Let me know.
There's a
Who
lot
else?
of question marks with the Mets, man.
Yeah. Reyes is saying, happy for Stone. Yeah, Gavin Stone made the team. It looks like he's going to be the fifth starter, dude. So he has been throwing a lot better. He said that he was tipping his pitches last year. He did a little bit of correction for this year. So hopefully that carries on to the season and doesn't fall back. Remember, Drew Darvish was dealing with that tipping off pitches when he was with the Rangers, and it kind of
Right.
translate into the World Series in 2017. So that's why he had a bad start against the Astros. So he corrected that and he became a better pitcher. So hopefully Gavin Stoll doesn't return to those old ways and pitches a good fit spot starter, and that maybe they go with six a man rotation, right? We don't know. Well, we got the chat going on right here, so I'll go ahead and
It's
post them
going
really
out today.
quick. Yeah, it's just going out. If you have any more questions, put them on here and we'll catch them on here. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that for us, please. If you like what the what content we have, we do have the fantasy show that comes out on Thursdays. Will, Javi, and Kefmo sometimes comes on there, and they give good stuff on fantasy baseball. So you want to catch that show as well. So, but the only way you're going to do it is if you subscribe. And we do the live show here, of course. We answer everything baseball. Gavin Stone's piece, of course. That's a good one. We got they are. Let's see.
I guess Felix thinks the Dodgers are going to be the champs this year.
Okay.
I think
That's what it is.
Yeah, and I think Felix is saying no, man. The Mets suck right now, and I think, yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
I'm not trying to bag on them, but it's just you have the Phillies and you have the Braves in that division, and they're doing good. Yeah, and you're right. They do need better arms, and they haven't got anybody. They got the old man Scherzer last year, and then they traded away, and they're paying a little bit of their salary to pay against you. So
And you know
kind of
what?
sucks.
And you know what? The Mets, once they announced that Jose Quintana was their opening day starter, I was like, here we go. This guy, opening day starter, is going to be a long season. And that's why I think Pete Alonso is going to be its official last season, like just what Angelo said. I don't see him sticking around, even though Steve Cohen has the money to pay. But I feel that Alonso's going to get paid this upcoming offseason, and he's going to be the top free agent coming up for 2024 class.
True. And Ryan Reyes, hey, you know what? You read my mind. Why is it at the end of the show a lot of people pop up? I don't know. I guess the stream service starts popping up for everybody, and that's when they get into it. But it's good, man. We like it. We don't care if it's the beginning, at the end, or the middle. Whenever you guys get a chance and come and talk baseball with us, we love it, dude.
Hey,
So
you know what it
Felix,
is, Carlos?
yeah,
I
go
think
for it.
people see that we're gonna about to log off, and they're like, no, let's keep it going, let's keep talking baseball. And I think that's what happens, Ryan. And I think everybody joins a little late. How about we change our show to 7:30? You guys let us know if we should push it back maybe to 8 o'clock. And I know it's kind of late up, but we'll make it work. We
Yeah, we
work
can
on
make it work.
Tuesday, so
Just make it. We'll make it work, especially if it's baseball. So Felix said he has a question for me. What do I think of Jackson Merrill? We talked about him when the Dylan Cease. He is going to be the starting center fielder for the Padres. I think it's great because defensively, I think the Padres are going to be one of the teams that you kind of see playing well in defense. Remember Dylan Cease? I said that he was with the White Sox, and that team didn't play good, defensive. And then now he's with the Padres, and with this kid out there, I think it's a great move. Um, I just feel like I'm happy for the kid. He's going to get his starting spot in center field, and we'll see what he does with the Padres. He is in a tough division, but he is going to be doing good. And I did hear the news. I read about it before we got on the show, and that's when the rosters came in. So that's a good thing, dude. So I like it. Oh, Angelo just said that Robbie, what is it? Robbie Hyde?
Robbie,
Dude, we watch him too.
he has
We
good
watch him
content, man.
too. Yeah, he has really good content. I would love to have him here on the show, to be honest. And we'll see if we can reach out to him and get him on this show because he has great content. He goes on live like us, like we do. We have our show, The Fantasy, that's kind of an extra show. But we were lucky today that we went on when Blake Snell signed, and that kind of made it a little bit bigger deal because there's breaking news for us, right? So I think it's a good idea, Angelo. Thank you for being on here and commenting. We do this every Monday. We do the other show, the fantasy show, on Thursday, and that's Will and Javi. We keep saying it, and it's cool. It's all right. You can catch us on Apple. What is it? Apple Podcasts. That's
Yes,
what it is, and
Spotify.
then and Spotify. So if you don't want to look at YouTube, you don't want to you look at Facebook, you could go there. But yeah,
Hey,
let's see.
hey,
Yeah, go
I
for it.
just find it funny that Robbie Hyde's always available when these big deals happen. I'm like, how is this guy ready to get going? I'm like, I'm in the gym, I'm in the middle of something, and I'm in the store, and I'm like, damn it, this guy's already online. Like, damn, he beat everybody to it. That's
Yeah,
why it's impressive what Robbie High does, man. And he's a solo dolo man, and he does it all by himself. And I always wonder, like, man, how can I just talk baseball by myself for
yeah,
hours? It's kind of hard. So
yeah,
I'm always impressed, but I always enjoy interacting with Carlos. We enjoy talking baseball here, and we kind of ask good questions to one another. We challenge
yeah.
each other here and there, and we'll bring some trivia every other week, and we try to test our knowledge.
Yeah, Angelo just subbed, man. Thank you.
Yay!
We
Thanks.
appreciate it. We're growing the channel. We really appreciate it. And this is what we do all the time. So if you guys want to go ahead and ask us questions, and we always answer them. And if we don't, go ahead and, hey, you didn't answer my question. What's going on? Of course, if there's more people, it's going to be a little bit harder to do, but that's what we're trying to get to because we like talking baseball. So that's what it is. I just want to say one more thing though, like about all these things going into the 2024 season. uh is there anything that we will kind of see this year? Are we going to see any records broken this year? Are we going to see a 50-50 man this year, 50 stolen bases, 50 home runs? Do you see Acuna doing this year? Do you see Otani probably doing that this year?
Oof.
Because the season hasn't started, and I think we haven't even given our predictions about divisions, who's going to win the division, who's going to go to the World Series. I know Kefmo asked us earlier who's going to go to the World Series, but I think that next show we should talk about that. But for right now, do you feel like there's going to be any records that are going to be broken for the 2024 season?
Man, I really hope so, man, because there is some seasons that nothing happens. And there is years like last year, we had Acuna do his 40-70. That was impressive. We really hope there's a 50-50 guy out there. That would be amazing. A 20-game winner. Can we get one of those back?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know about what is it called? Finishing the game. I don't think we're going to see that much. I think what was it? Last year we had 32 complete games, and I believe there's a few pitchers that's gotten close to 30 or has 30, complete games. And do you feel like we're gonna see that ever again? That they have complete games to where I know Blake Snell, since he's the breaking news. Do you see Blake Snell completing the game this season?
No, no, it's not
No,
happening. I think
no.
everybody will say no, no, no. You can put money on it. It's it's an easy bet. Just do it. He's
So he's
not
only
doing
going
that,
to reach
man.
the fifth, sixth inning, possibly the seventh inning, and then out. That's what's going to happen.
Dude,
Ah,
Javi's saying Javi Baez striking out 300 times. Man, the guy is not playing well, and he's had a terrible spring. And you started thinking about what happened to this guy's talent, man. It just went away, and
yeah.
he's not the
Javi
player he
Baez.
once was, man. It's unfortunate
Nah, not with
because
the Cubs. He
he
was a
had some
good
game
player with
before.
the Cubs, dude. He has a good glove. You got to give him that. But his throwing kind of suffered a little
He
bit
was
too.
flashy with it.
His throwing kind of went away. His leather though, it's there. It's just throwing and hitting. I don't know where it went. Hopefully this kid can find it again because he is was one of the top players with the Cubs. And like, why not have him out there again, dude? Like doing his things, doing those plays out there, those incredible plays where I don't know if you guys remember the WBC where Yadier Molina threw to second and he pointed to him already. He hadn't even make the tag yet. He was like, "Yeah, you're my boy. You threw it right on the spot," and he hadn't even called it the out, and he's already like telling him a good job. So he's flashy. I know he's flashy. The new style of baseball is not good for a lot of people, for the older heads. Um, I'm coming around. I kind of like it. I love it. So it's
Coming
just the
around.
older heads. I don't know if they like it. Hopefully they come around too. So let's see. Did y'all see Joe Torre come out in uniform taking the ball from Rodon? Oh, that happened today. That happened today, right?
That happened today. Carlos Rodon
Yeah,
was throwing
yeah.
a no hitter. He pitched 5.2 innings, and then you just see Yo Torre come out in uniform and take him out. I feel like we went back to the 90s. I was like, what the
No,
hell's
oh,
going
Skip.
on? I'm like, I
What?
was like, where's their phone at? I was tripping
Dude, I
out.
thought. Look, so when I saw that, I'm like, what's going on here? Why is he there? And I'm like, I didn't put one and two together. I didn't. I was like, okay, Rodon. I thought it was one of those games that they were passing from back in the day, and no, he was taking Rodon. I'm like, oh, damn, I didn't think he was on there with uniform. But it took me back to the '90s. Like him wearing the jacket and kind of walking out. I'm like, wait, that's an old game, but it happened in the daytime. Like, kind of confused me for a little bit. It kind of confused me for a little bit, but yeah, I did see that. He is a lot older. I'm happy for Rodon though. Like he signed with the Yankees. He hasn't been able to perform as well yet last year. Hopefully this year he turns it on, especially because I have him on my fantasy team. Hopefully he picks it up. Uh, he should be able to do good. But I think the Yankees are going to be okay. Um, I know, except with Cole, but they'll be all right. They'll like
Yeah,
it.
man. That was a
Yeah.
7-year, 162 million contract, and I think the Yankees learned, like, you know what, it's kind of dangerous, and that's why they were scared to sign Snell too for 6 years. You
But the
know, man,
thing with
because
Snell, he
this
hasn't
team,
got injured. He hasn't had a bad injury. So,
yeah, he's
um,
been kind of lengthy, the most healthiest pitcher kind of in the game for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, that's true. All right, man. We reached that point in time that we have to say our last mentions. We appreciate everybody that's on here. We appreciate everybody liking the video. We appreciate everybody sharing the video. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Trust me, we remember some of these names on here. We remember good people, like, because we have our usuals, and when we have new people, we tend to go to those comments and go after you a little bit too. Ryan, you've been always been here. Felix, you too. uh Angelo, hopefully we get to see you next week, man, and you can bring us a little bit more. You can probably help us with the trivia, like that's always fun. So yeah, go ahead. Ernie, last mentions, man.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. We have a great show, and if you guys want to just sign up for Rival Fantasy using the Real Talk Baseball code, we will appreciate it. For every dollar you spend, they'll match you $1 up to $200. And it's a great way to play MLB games with us. We have MLB Best Ball where we could play on a daily, weekly, or season-long fantasy. And the greatest thing about it is that you don't have to make no roster moves. The system will automatically choose your 3, 4 best players from each fielding, from your infield, outfield, and your pitching. So it's pretty easy to do. For those guys that don't really know how to play fantasy, this is the best way to learn, and it's a great way to learn baseball.
Yep, that's true. All right, well, from all of us here, Real Talk Baseball, I'm Carlos Baseball. This is Ernie Orange, Real Talk Baseball, signing out.